Well, I'm going to run down here the situation that we're facing now in Ukraine, explain to you why it's going the way it's going. It requires some background, but this is all more of a spiritual background. Okay, so in the 50s, the late 50s in 1957, the West was offered a gift by the Almighty, a direct contact, so that if you would submit to that gift a half an hour twice a week, just going about your regular life and everything, but just submit to that gift. You don't have to have any beliefs or anything. Just submit, let the Almighty work on you for half an hour twice a week. You know, work on whatever, work on your nerves, your feelings, your health, because you stand up and you allow God to move you. Wait till He moves you in that contact, and it works things out. If you had accepted that gift, which you did not, and the people who got it somehow didn't spread it, and it kind of got pretty small now. There was about 1 million people that received that gift, as far as I know, maybe more. But the active membership of the group is down to 30,000 because they're all over the world, but they haven't somehow really taken it up. Perhaps it's not spreading. There are reasons for that, but I won't go into. But anyway, if you had that gift, if you were connected up with the Almighty, and a war like this came along, the Ukrainian situation, you would not use. I mean, of course, reason and logic and common sense and everything is a factor in everything that we do. We don't eschew those, we don't throw them out, take them off the table when we're making decisions. But primarily, you make a decision or you act on something from the guidance of God, the inner guidance. So in terms of the inner guidance, the guidance that's coming from God through the soul of people here living on the earth, through their inner feeling, which is connected up to the other side. You don't have to believe that. Anyway, that's the case. So guides you. So in that way, you can actually do the will, as you recall in the prayer. Kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's our prayer, and so He gave us a way to do that. So what is that guidance as far as the Ukraine is concerned? Well, have the nations get over there and stop that war. He's killing people indiscriminately, and I don't want that, to happen. So stop it. And so there it is. Now, and don't be afraid of nuclear war, because I won't allow that to happen. Okay, so then it makes it pretty simple. Go over there. The kids that are young and can fight. I don't know. I'm almost 80. I looked to see if I could go, and it's like, well, no, you're too old. You'd be more trouble than you'd be worth. Taking care of me. But I don't need to go over there. Just, do what you can from here. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so that's the guidance. Now let's look and see why that doesn't happen. So everybody is guided in their life all the time. They just aren't aware of it. They're so locked into different outer gifts that they have from God, their mind, their heart, their passions, their cleverness, their intelligence, all their strength. They when they step away from submitting to God, then all of these things that they're given as gifts kind of take over them instead of them using those things in the right way. So in this case, for instance, you have the feeling throughout the world, through people who have feelings, whose feelings are operating, they're all saying the same thing. Well, gosh, we can't, we got to get over there and stop those people from doing this. They're murdering, they're destroying the country, and they're murdering these people, and we could stop them. And you know what, gosh, if we do stop them, that's a show of strength. We're not afraid of Putin. We say to Putin, oh, their nuclear weapon thing, threaten us. Don't threaten me. Don't tell me what I can do and can't do. I'm going to help my friends. I'm going to help people that I love and care about, and who are doing the right thing, having a pretty good life. And you can tell me anything you want. You can threaten anything you want. It's not going to stop me. So there are quite a few people in the world who understand it, and the men who've gone over there, and people have gone over there, and many of the Ukrainians that say, well, this is it. Well, we're here to fight. God is. They're on the side of God. You talk about you want God to be on your side. No, you want to be on the side of God. Whatever God is doing anywhere, you want to be tuned in. You want to be doing that. So living God, it's a God that's from second to second, moment to moment. It's always there. So that would be the way, the light. There would be light there, and if you would do that, then things would work out well, and you would have this horrible thing we have to watch every night on the news, of these poor young mothers have just lost their baby child, and and the older women are just beside themselves. Why are they doing this? They don't understand. But essentially, at this point, we're doing it because we're not stopping it. We're standing by and we're letting it happen. Now, why are we doing that? Well, because we look to other people. We don't look to God. We've trained ourselves, and we've come around to a position where we're not looking to God to tell us what to do, because I don't want God telling us what to do. We're going to figure it out for ourselves. So in other words, we're going to take the place of the Almighty. We're going to decide the best thing to do. And so how we do that, it's not necessarily a completely intentional, conscious program, but that's how it comes around when you ignore the Almighty. So how we're going to do that is by using rationality. We're going to be rational. We're going to be logical. Those are the things that we set up. We follow those things. That's not the thing. That's a part of everything. That's not the thing to follow. Don't follow your own rationality and your own logic. You take it into account, but you submit it all, and you're in the way of worshiping God. You submit it all, and you say, "Okay, what comes? What's the deal?" Which I say again is go over there and stop them. Stop them right now. My poor lungs. Anyway, so what our rationality tells us, putting aside, saying that we're noble enough and we're willing to sacrifice and do everything, but we say to ourselves, well, gosh, if we go over there and help them, and this escalates into World War III, that will be even worse than it is now. So the best thing, don't do that. Just, but see, where does that leave you? It leaves you standing there watching your friend being mauled, beaten up more and more, maybe even being killed, and you're not going to do anything. You say, well, why not? Well, because he'd kill me too. And a bunch of other people, it's just not worth it. Better to have him be killed than a whole bunch of people, that's your reason talking. So you won't do anything because you're guided, you're ruled by your own rationality. You know, if you really look at it, and you see times where you just follow rational thinking out to its, you carry it out one step. A lot of times it doesn't work. Sometimes it does, kind of works. In general, it's kind of a good thing to be rational about things. Have that be a part of everything. That's one of the ways that you navigate. It's part of the tools you have to navigate through life. It's like a tool over here, but it's not the whole tool thing. Everything has to be. I mean, if I say, well, I've got to call my broker right now because he didn't help me out when I needed help, and I better tell him right away so that he'll remember because he's probably forgotten or something. And then, but no, it's not a good time to call him because he's in a bad mood, and he'll just get upset, and things would be even worse. So, but if I have a guy that say, well, maybe I'll call him tomorrow. I'll call him. The next day. There'll be a time there. Sure enough, there will be. You call him, everything will be fine. Can't just follow. So the rational thing is, well, not now, but later we'll go in. We'll help out. I mean, we'll fix them up good afterwards. After they're all dead and their abilities are all destroyed, then we'll come in and we'll help them then. That's what the rationality kind of leads to. So we won't go in. Now, let's look at the other side of it from Putin's point of view. He's an expert. He's a professional psychotic. He's like a professional. If you ever dealt with a narcissist, you'll be amazed at how good they are at what they do, because they've been doing it all their life, and they become professionals. If they really work on it, they become quite good at it. Narcissists can convince you that they're a nice person, and but they're still trying to get. They're not interested in you at all. But they can convince you that they are and they care and stuff like this. Do it, even if you're old and wise. They can do it because they're professionals. So he's a professional. So what does he do right away? First, he sends down a bunch of kids to make a big mess down there. And then see if they can't fight the war well, then they'll start. They get frustrated and they'll start blowing up the people. And so that's what he wants. He doesn't like Ukrainians because Ukrainians are living peaceful, happy people. He doesn't like people that are having a good, happy life. He believes in everybody's out to get everybody else, and they're all sneaking around doing sneaky things because he's been raised up in that KGB mentality. He can't believe somebody can do something good just because, or demonstrate against something just because they don't feel good about it. No, he's not into that. So first he's sending stupid soldiers that aren't any good because he knows very well what's going to happen then. He probably knows. Even if he doesn't, anyway, he sends his army in. And then, when things, and then they're not going well, let's go along that road. And right away, in a few days, he says, you know what? Don't mess around with me. Don't interfere with my mess here, because if you do, I'll blow you all to kingdom come. I got nuclear weapons, I'll blow those people up, and I'll blow you up. So stand off. So he makes this threat. Now this is where the fear of death comes in. If you have been trained by the Almighty and you have been restored to being a human being, which means that all these different forces and qualities that you have are put in their rightful place, and the soul itself is guiding the person. Like in my case, whoa! That's my soul speaking. That's not what I'm doing. So, my soul is guiding me. So the thing is, if you learn that, one of the things you learn along the way is to kind of gradually, and it takes a while. Somehow, you find God shows a way for you to get over your cowardliness, your fear of death. And there are quite a few people on the earth who are not afraid of death. But you have to distinguish between being afraid of death and saying, okay, it's okay to die. Because God didn't create this exquisite human being that you are for you to die. That's not the point of creating a human being, so that they'll die. Some kind of wild, crazy thing. Still, you can't be afraid of death. You can't let it interfere, because if you are, you won't. The guidance that you have from God will never take place. You will never manifest it, or hardly ever manifest it, or you will never manifest it in any kind of situation where you perceive or you see a real possibility of a threat of losing your life. So, when you stand up to a bully, for instance, we've been going through this recently in the United States, stand up to the bully, fight the good fight. You're basically not being afraid. You're not being afraid because the bully could kill you. They're big enough, strong enough, they could kill you. You don't care. You're not going to let that stop you. You stand up to them anyway. And lo and behold, a lot of times they just walk off. So in order to get Putin, who's like a coward, basically a coward, you just stand up to him. He'll go, oh, okay, all right, no, that's not good, and he'll withdraw his troops. Okay, sun's coming, I gotta stop. So that's the deal.